Hello, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time coming across a video of mine, welcome here. Check out my other videos and subscribe to the channel. If you've been here, you're a subscriber, you've been watching my videos, thank you for being here. I hope you've subscribed. Today I want to talk about the mistakes that I have made in relationships, the way I have fumbled in relationships, because no one teaches us how to be in relationships, but I think even if we were taught, we will still mess around and find out. So I found out because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying. Kubahatisha tu. So the first one, which was major when I was starting to date, was being codependent, not having a life outside my relationship. Like, my entire life revolved around my relationship. I was in campus. I didn't know my classmates because after class, back to the boyfriend. And if I'm skipping classes, then I'm with the boyfriend. I didn't even have friends. Like, my friends were his friends, who were initially his friends even before we started dating. I thought it was cute while I was doing it. Like, people around us will comment about how much time we spent together. Like, if you see one person, you are almost sure you'll see the other person because we were always around each other. I thought it was cute. I thought to our friends walikuwa nasema hawakuwa natutakia, they knew what they were saying, but I had not come across any information saying that you should have a life outside of a relationship. I knew mkiwa pamoja you're supposed to be together, you love birds, you love each other, you never run out of stories, you want to spend every waking moment together. So when that ended and I realized I don't have friends, I don't know my classmates, that is when it hit me that it's unhealthy to center your life around one person. Like, it's not even healthy. Like, it's not fair for your relationship because one person cannot be your everything. You cannot get all your entertainment and all your needs met by one person. It's too much pressure, and it's healthy to have a life outside of a relationship. So that was one lesson that I learned from experience. It would have been easier to just learn it from other people's experience, but it was a time when I was not consuming information around personal growth, so I was just kubahatisha life. Another mistake being controlling. I got into a relationship when, okay, started dating when I was not self-aware. I didn't know what I was like as a person. I just existed. Turns out I was a very controlling person. Like, I just wanted things to go my way. It was either my way or the highway, which is not a good thing. Like, you're supposed to compromise, you're supposed to be understanding. I didn't understand those things at the time. Like, we will argue about things, I will see his point, but then it will happen again. I was that toxic person because I was just not self-aware, which is not a good trait to have in life generally, and also in a relationship, because relationships bring out all your toxicity. So if it's something that you're not even aware of, then it means you're not even working on it. So it's so obvious. That was not a good thing. And I didn't even realize it when I was in the relationship. Like, I realized a lot of things post the relationship, because I think when you're in something, when you're too close, it's difficult to see the facts. Another mistake, rebounding with a friend. For some reason, when you're fresh out of a relationship, you're not able to think clearly. So that's not the time to be committing to other things. So I thought this friend of mine was okay, like he was genuine, he genuinely liked me. Maybe he did, but he convinced me. It was easy to get convinced at that point because I was vulnerable and I was also avoiding the pain of dealing with the breakup. So it was easier to rebound. Now, my mistake was rebounding with a friend. I don't think rebounding per se was an issue. Had it been with a person who was not my friend, but such a situation can easily turn another way, so maybe it would have been a different story. Interestingly, my rebounds usually last all of 3 months. When the third month ends, it's like I wake up from a slumber and I ask myself, what am I even doing with this person? He's not my type. I don't even like him. I wouldn't even date him. Yet during those 3 months, I thought I was in love. I don't know what happens post breakup. Like, I think you should just keep to yourself and avoid seeing other people who heal to before you go back to the market. So rebonding with a friend was bad because it was awkward afterwards and then it ruined the relationship, and the friend was close to me. Like, it's a person who my ex knew. So, you know those friends that your boyfriend is worried about, but go like, he's just a friend, don't worry about him. So it was like such a betrayal because you said don't worry about him and then he's your rebound. Plus, he was not living far away, so that means my ex also witnessed that relationship. So it's like on top of the betrayal, I was hurting him even more. It's like, stabbing someone and then you keep twisting the knife. Yeah, so the guilt that I felt from all those things, like post the rebound, the awkwardness post rebound, the ruined friendship, and the betrayal cost and the hurt cost. It was messy. You know those stories that you hear from other people and you're like, that could never be me. Like, I can never find myself in the middle of such mess. It was unbelievable. Another mistake post my relationship where I was the toxic one. Now I decided to be a good person going forward, to be more understanding, to be compromising, to listen to the other person, to not always push for my way. So I got into another relationship with a person who I thought was a good person, but I know I'm the toxic one. So I'm trying to be very good in this relationship. Turns out the other person was the toxic one. So, hey, karma, like it hit right back. It didn't even wait. So, me being nice and compromising and understanding while the other person is the me that I was in my previous relationship. The way tables stand, the red flags were pretty obvious early on, but you don't want to cancel someone from just a few mistakes because you're trying to be understanding, you're trying to be compromising. You don't even term the things as red flags because plus it was like a challenge for me. Huyu ni mnoma, but I'm trying to be understanding. Let me see how I can understand this. And naingizwa to box, like the person apologizes and then everything is fine until the next time. I was dealing with a toxic person, so it was difficult. Like, that trait to a good person, it's really good, but then when you're dealing with someone who doesn't understand that you're being understanding, it's draining. In this particular situation, my mistake was not being too understanding. It was not loving myself enough to realize that I was giving too much. But it's because I was also beating myself over the previous one where I was the toxic one. So I was trying to sort of make things right, to prove to myself that I can be a good person. I didn't love myself enough for this one. I neglected myself, and that was my mistake. But yeah, trying to be a good person for a bad person, the right person for the wrong person. Yeah. Another mistake that I made, or at the time it felt like a mistake, like I carried too much guilt from it, was leaving a relationship too soon. Too soon, I mean, I have decided that I want to leave. I have taken my time to process it before I communicate it to the other person. So by the time I'm saying that I am leaving, I have gone through the motions, I'm ready to leave, and now it's news to the person at that time. They had not seen any sign of me wanting to leave, of us having such serious issues, and he even negotiated for time or just a break to figure things out, or for him to process before I quit. And I was like, you know what? I'm either in or out. That was harsh. Yani at the time was, it didn't even hit me what all this can do to someone. Gosh. Somehow I understand how brutal men are in relationships because I have been that brutal in my life. Ah, being oblivious of things, of how harshness can really hurt someone. Oh god. Now the thing is, I mess up one way and then I try to make up for it in another relationship, and it's not a similar situation. So when I needed to leave the next one, I gave it too much time because I'm giving this person time to process, time to make things right, and also I am preserving myself because I don't want to deal with that kind of guilt again. So I ended up overstaying in a situation which was already dead a long time ago. That was another mistake, but I think my reward was not experiencing the guilt that I had experienced from crushing someone's soul in the other one. Another mistake is moving on too soon. I find that when I move on too soon, I am looking for the things that I was missing in my previous relationship in the next one. And that lasts for a few months before I realize that I'm also not enjoying the things that I was enjoying in my previous one, because just because someone has is offering what I was missing doesn't mean he's also offering what I was enjoying. And then it hits me when I'm already in and the relationship has progressed. Bottom line is, like, it's just good to take time in between relationships so that I am not, for me, so that I am not moving on, like I'm not moving into the next relationship with the expectations from the previous one, like I'm sort of starting on a clean slate. Another mistake was drinking post breakup. When I drink, if I drink when I have underlying issues, it's a sure bet that I'm going to cry. So I drank post a breakup. It was during a weekend, and the following day I was supposed to wake up and go to work. So on a Monday, I am dealing with a breakup, a heartbreak, and a hangover on a Monday. She does. That's the most msiba wa kujitakia problem. Gosh, I had such a long day. Wow. Did I learn my lesson? Like, I shiver from the thought of drinking when I have underlying issues. I'm not sure it's a mistake that I won't repeat again anyway. Another mistake is, at this point I was self-aware, but maybe not self-aware enough or not mature enough to ask myself, what I want with my life. I had let the society decide for me, the steps that you're supposed to go through in life, go through by society standards. So finish school and then find someone, get married, have kids. So I was working on that path. Like, I thought I wanted to get married, but I had not sat with myself to really introspect and see if it's what I want for my life. So I got into a relationship with someone because he was husband material. Like, he ticked all the boxes. He checked all the boxes of what a husband is, but for me personally, that's not what I wanted. So when I finally asked myself the questions, uh, it was not going to work. And I think that was my mistake, because had I analyzed that before getting in, then singem waste your time. I felt like I wasted his time because he was also looking for a wife, and I thought I was looking for a husband. And for him alikuwa amepata bibi. Na mimi, no, I didn't want to be a wife. My major lessons through those mistakes and fumbles have been being an understanding person while loving myself. There is a quote that people I follow on Instagram usually say that if someone will end up feeling bad about a situation, it shouldn't be me. Like, yes, I'll try my best to accommodate someone, but if it's too much, then I'm going to choose myself. And not rushing from one relationship to another one, taking time to heal and knowing what I want for myself. And the guilty moments, they taught me self forgiveness, because I struggled with that for a long time. I had to learn how to forgive myself. I admit I was toxic. Like, do people ever talk? When people talk about a toxic person, I know what it means to be a toxic person because I have been a toxic person. And I find that when I am with someone who is, a good person, a well balanced person, my toxicity comes out. But when I'm with a toxic person, I will appear like a saint. But I'm trying to be a well balanced human being, like to be more understanding, to be more accommodating, but to also love myself through it. Share with me your mistakes that the mistakes that you have made in relationships, or the lessons that you have learned, or the mistakes that I have made that you relate to. Thank you for sitting through this one. See you on the next one. Bye.